Hey, gents, there was some weirdness with Skype on this one, but I thought we had a great conversation. We do jump around a lot, but there's also some explicit language in here. Just wanted to give you a forewarning. So I put the explicit language tag on in iTunes, and otherwise, please enjoy the conversation with Christian from Theo and Harris.
Okay.
No
We lost you
problem.
right as you said, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, the people, like you fucking asshole, how dare you dislike the Alpinist, And I'm like, whoa, everybody relax, like, it's like chill out. We're gonna be okay.
The only brands you can dislike are Invicta and I'm blanking on some of the other ones, but those are the ones that are okay to dislike.
Like movement and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone doesn't, no one likes that, apart from the guys that are being paid to like it.
Though, I think, I don't know, for some reason, Grand Seiko is becoming like more and more appealing to me. Like, I don't know, I feel like that brand is going to gain a lot of value. It seems like kind of an up and comer, and I'm
A lot to
by
love
no
about.
means an expert. Yeah, they're amazing. And for the
Yeah.
price, they're just crazy.
Exactly, and the price point is very fair. I kind of say, as far as like value is concerned, say like Grand Seiko is one of the few brands that like might even beat JLC, and JLC is like a big value brand. Like JLC will bring, in the world of luxury watches, which I suppose it's kind of antithetical to value. Seiko does bring a lot of value, even compared to JLC.
Hmm.
And they really
Yeah,
are the only brand that spans the $50 watch to the multi-$1,000 watch.
Oh yeah, way up there. I mean, they have like Creedor, which is one of their subsidiary brands that I don't even know what they retail in, but they're big, big, big now. They're Patek numbers. I mean, no doubt.
you had a Grand Seiko in the shop not too long ago. Do those sell fast?
Yeah, they do because the price point, allows them to be kind of gobbled up, right? They're depending on the model or stuff, condition, they're right around $1,000 in most cases. So, it's $500 to $700 less than a really good Omega, and the quality is the same. So it's really more of a brand and design thing. So if you are cool wearing, if you like the Seiko just as much as you like Omega, you just save $500 and got a great watch, even though you spent 1,000.
Mhm. Yeah, that might be on my short list, a Grand Seiko, because I feel like now that I've been wearing the Rolex for a little while, kind of check that box at least for a little while. It's I don't know, I feel like it's kind of okay now to branch out to some, I guess, less prestigious brands.
Right. No, I agree. What other brands have, if like watches aside, what other brands are you guys interested in right now?
Oh man, well I just got I'm gonna do a video about it pretty soon, but I just got my first full bespoke suit from a brand called Allen David in New York,
I haven't heard of
and
them. How was it?
yeah, it was awesome. I mean, the experience is actually, it was a little strange because it wasn't flashy. It wasn't like not standard or like Michael Andrews, like where they give you a drink and some slick showroom. It's like fifth generation, seventh floor of some nondescript building, like decent customer service, like friendly enough, but like not. It's not a customer experience play.
Right.
The actual suit's amazing. You know.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's noticeably different from my, obviously off the rack, but even my like custom made to measure suits. So um, that's something I'm kind of excited about because that's my first foray into an actual from scratch bespoke garment.
Right. What was the price point on something like that?
I think they start in the, I want to say upper 1,000s, just for like the labor and everything. But you
Yeah.
can go, sky's the limit depending on which fabric you
Yeah.
choose.
Right. Yeah. It's an amazing world of stuff. I mean, if you really start getting into clothing and stuff, it's great. Maybe I just I'm just so desensitized to watches and how expensive they can be because they watches can be so expensive. But for some reason, I think like 3 grand for a watch is not nearly as much as 3 grand for a jacket. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah,
I don't
it
know
is
why.
funny when you think about it like that. Like uh, a kind of entry level luxury watch could be the same as like a full bespoke suit.
Yeah, which is funny. I mean, you're getting the best or the entry, So
Right,
it's
right.
it's kind of funny, but maybe it's just the way that we're kind of conditioned to think what things are supposed to cost. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's been a
It's
little bit of my challenge now because I've got so many shoes at so many different price points, and the struggle that I've had to now go through because there's a considerable difference between the $60 Stan Smith and then like the Common Project. But when you get into that middle ground of like $150 shoes to $200 especially in sneakers. Like I'm looking at all these white leather sneakers. It's like, how do you really communicate? Okay, if you value the fact that it's made in Italy, the fact that it is a certain type of leather, then you should spend X. But then how to distinguish between the one that's $200 versus $240? That's probably been my like biggest existential crisis as I sit here with almost 20 pairs of shoes in front of me.
Do you ever find like you get to a point where it's like, okay, I like it, but I honestly don't like it enough to have room for it? You know what I mean? Like that's how I am with shoes sometimes too. Like I love shoes; it's a big thing for me. But it's like it gets to a certain point where it's like, where do you even put these things? You know what I mean? Whereas watches fit into a box. You know, it's difficult.
Yeah, that's very true. And how many times you can wear them whenever you're probably just going to throw boat shoes on when you run to the coffee shop.
Exactly. Like that's, I bought a pair of they're called like campers, like camping moccasins from Allen Edmonds like 3 weeks ago. And they were on sale, and they were awesome. These green, these green like oiled leather boat shoes kind of, but they're real nice. And that was like the first shoe in a while that I got, and I was like, oh, this it kind of serves a distinct purpose. And wow, I think I got it for like less than $100, and I'm happy having them on my shoe rack. Whereas other things that I have, and I love them, I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do with this? Like I just.
I gotta say the camp mock is one of my favorite styles of shoe. I think it's like a good shoe for the rest of the year. Yeah, it's so good. That's a good pickup, man. But I agree. It's like I'm kind of at the point where it's almost like one in, one out a little bit with shoes. Like yeah, I gotta get rid of stuff. Like I got into lifting recently, so I've been looking at like a good like cross trainer / lifting shoe from like Nike or Adidas or something. But I have these old Onitsuka Tigers, and I have my Brooks running shoes. So I'm like, do I really need another athletic shoe? It's like it'd have to replace something,
It's funny. It's been so long, man. Isn't that weird? Time flies. It's fucking crazy.
All right. So speaking of shoes, I don't know if you pack light, pack heavy. What do you bring with you on your vacation?
It's funny. I pack really, really light. I released a video on it just on YouTube pretty recently. I wear like a lot of espadrilles over the summer, which are the easiest to travel shoes ever. They are the easiest traveling shoe, ever. They're super thin. I find them comfortable. I know a lot of people say that they don't offer any arch support, so, they can't wear them. But for me to just slip those on, whether on the beach or lunch, is just, perfect. I wear a couple of Oxford shirts, a couple pairs of shorts. My family overpacks, way overpacks. I don't know how you put 65 pounds of things in a suitcase. I don't understand what they're doing. I have like 4 Oxford shirts, 7 T-shirts, shorts, and that's it. 2 espadrilles. Like it's how easy,
I can tell you that I got an overweight rating when I packed for Menfluential, but that was like a special case.
Yeah, right. That's business.
Yeah.
How about you guys? Are you like good packers?
My problem is that I go on these trips these days where they're like very like multi-purpose. So like for example, like in a couple weeks, I'm going to my brother's wedding in Ottawa. And then I'm going straight to New York for some work. So like between like the hanging out, the wedding outfit, and then like a week of business, a couple photo shoots and stuff, it's just so much. Like I can't pack light,
Right.
So it kind of depends on the trip for me.
I've been forced to be a light packer through like traveling for work so much because I just like to have the carry-on. And so whenever I'm packing, it's like I figure out which one pair of pants will work with which 3 dress shirts, and then I wear the jacket. So I can be very efficient. I can also load up. I have a giant away suitcase, and I can load that thing up. And so I actually have a video I'm going to put out about packing a weekender for like a max efficiency to keep that stuff down. But
what weekender do you use?
The one I have in the video is the Carl Friedrich Hanbury. It's this like made in Italy, gorgeous, like amazing leather. For the longest time, I used one from Beckett and Simonon. They have a weekender that I bought, and I've had that probably since 2000.
Oh, that's funny. They just emailed me.
Yeah, they're moving out in marketing in a big way. They have a new marketing director who started, and she called me too because I was one of their the top affiliates, and and I know that they're trying to really get their name out there because they have an amazing product. I've had their shoes since like 2011, end of 2011, and I still wear the original pair that I bought back then. And like
which pair of shoes do you have? The sneakers?
No, I have their I have one of their Oxfords that I bought when I was working at a law firm. But that's
Gotcha.
one of the companies that no matter how many times I've recommended it, people still come back and say they had the best experience. They love the shoes. Like I like to very much stay in tune with what my audience there. Like if I recommend a company and people have bad experience, I would never like recommend them again. But Beck and Simon
Right.
is consistently like they love the customer experience, they love the product, they love the price. It's all been good for them.
It's funny, I don't get too many of these brand emails, especially because I don't kind of like encourage it. I don't really like create a kind of I just haven't tried to get them. You know what I mean? So and we only do one video that's off topic every other week, right? So I don't even have the space in the content schedule to do a lot of brand stuff. So when I get brand emails, I usually, and this is so wrong, but I usually write them off as like spam in my head because I mean some of them they're so generic, and why does it matter? Why not just take advantage of an opportunity? But I'm so turned off when I get a generic email like that that I don't like it. Their email was personal, the Beckett and Simonon or whatever, and I don't know who my contact is there, Adea or something. I don't remember.
Adela.
And Adela, yeah, and she's real nice. So I'm gonna order a pair of sneakers, those white sneakers like we were talking about before. I was just saying I don't have a pair
The
of white leather
trainers
sneakers.
or like just the clean ones.
I think just the white leather, just clean.
I'm thinking
sneakers.
about getting those trainers because I know Brock is in some of the GATs, the German Army trainers.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, those look real good.
I got
You know
a
what I
pair of
recently
those.
did with shoes? I've always, and this is like the douchiest thing in the world. I've always wanted a pair of like exotic loafers, and they're the worst, right? But I've always wanted a pair, and Gucci makes a really nice exotic horsebit loafer, and I'm a big horsebit loafer fan. But they're ridiculous price. They're like $2,700 or something like that. And one, I don't think I'm spending $2,700 on a shoe, and two, if I do, it's not going to be from Gucci, right? They're a better, way better manufacturers of shoes. So I ended up finding a pair on eBay recently for like way cheap, but they're in yellow, right? Like, so what are you going to do with a pair? Well, exotic loafers already are douchey. What are you going to do with a pair of yellow pimp shoes? So I reached out to a place in the city that does shoe dyeing, right? Which is kind of an expensive process, but I've heard really positive things about it. So I reached out and I said, hey, this is my situation. I'll make a piece of content about you doing it. How's that sound? So we're going to do that. I'm looking forward to it.
Future off topic.
Yeah, and we're going to turn my pimp shoes into, I guess, more discreet pimp shoes.
Right, right.
And the pimp with a little bit of class.
So off topic though, one of the reasons that I wanted to even have you come on here was to basically retell your story of going through Italy. So you did an episode on why entrepreneurs take a vacation, and I like that. I totally agree. But I want to I was following it on Instagram, and it was so great to see you guys going through there. But I want to know some of the backstory of that trip and just like the whole experience.
Yeah, I traveled a lot growing up with my family. It's just like it was like the first thing they wanted to do as soon as they could, afford it. And I guess I started when I was like 9, I think, or I think even 5. I think I was in Spain when I was 5, and we've literally gone every other year since then, right? So my family are degenerate travelers. And last year, my mom said, I want to go to Sicily, right? And I was like, okay, well, we're not Sicilian, that's fine. I don't care. That doesn't mean anything. So that's not why we're going, though. Like, what do you want to do in Sicily? What do you want to see? And she's like, I feel like, and she was reading this thing online, that it's one of the only places, right, that like the roads still aren't paved. It's not for tourists. Like it's literally for Sicilian people, and people like in the know, and that's it. So we planned this entire trip around Sicily, and Sicily was amazing. I don't think it was the highlight of the trip, but we did Sicily, we did Rome, we visited my family on the coast of Rome, on the coast outside of Rome, and then we went to northeastern Spain. But that was the whole the reasoning behind the trip, right? To get to Sicily before everyone from my town goes to Sicily,
Is that why you had that? It looked like you had a 4x4 or something pretty beefy to get around.
Oh, the car? Yeah, we had 7 people. It was my family, and meanwhile, these Sicilians, they've never seen a car that large. They're like, "What the fuck is that?" So they called it the bus.
Wow.
It was really funny. It was funny getting around. It was all stick shift. It was really funny.
Did she get the trip she was dreaming of?
Yeah, she really liked it. It was a lot of fun. It was just funny because Sicily is real close to Italy, like as far as mainland Italian, the kind of cooking and culture, but it's also very different. When you go to France, you're not expecting, it's different, and and it's like the same way. Spain isn't Italy, France isn't Italy, right? So you don't compare it to Italy. But when you're in Sicily, you can't help but to compare everything to mainland Italy because it is so close, but the differences make it so dissimilar as well. Like their red sauce has like real like weird Eastern spices in it, like almost Arab, like fusion because it was Arab for so long. So it was weird. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was definitely funny.
Man, sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was really awesome, man. But how about you guys? You travel at all?
Let's see. Last time I went out of the country, I was down in just north of Cabo. Actually, that was for my
Nice.
honeymoon. That was fun.
But that wasn't that long ago, right?
No, not too long ago. It was 3 months or something. Yeah, really good. It's not, probably the best fish tacos I've ever had.
Yeah, right. Super fresh.
Oh yeah, they like just pulls out of the ocean and slaps on a plate. It was really cool. But I'd never been to that part of Mexico. Like I've been to the other side, Cancun and all that. But it was kind of cool seeing the Pacific side and that landscape of like basically desert, Southwest desert, but like on the ocean.
What's on your list like next?
I really want to go to like Croatia region, and actually maybe even Croatia specifically, because I've heard it's like a pretty cool area, and that you get like kind of beaches and forests, national parks, and good food.
I've heard Croatia's tremendous.
Yeah, it's supposed to be and like pretty high value too. Still, like kind of like what you're saying about Sicily, like somewhat under or not so touristy yet.
Yeah, and naturally the prices, kind of follow.
Right, yeah. So yeah, that'd be fun. And then maybe Eastern Europe,
Like
but
Croatia and like parts of Greece.
Yeah, I was in
Oh,
Greece
yeah.
2 summers ago, dude. It was incredible, man. Fuck. I like to kind of be like, just be real local, like eat real, like simple, like, local food, I don't need to go eat, some douchey, restaurant that I could have easily gone out to the Hamptons for if I wanted to. And all of these, places in Europe, they have places like that. And that's where a lot of people go. But it's just, it's not what we go for, So you end up eating like the most simple, like it ends up being super inexpensive. It was 7 people every night on my whole trip for 3 weeks in Spain, Italy, and then in south of Italy. And I genuinely can count on one hand the time for 7 people, the times dinners exceeded $200. And we ate and drank like incredibly.
Like degenerates.
Yeah, like degenerates. Like what? It's insane. You go into the city, you're paying, to eat and drink like we did. If you do that in Jersey or in the city, you're easily paying, $65 a head without even breaking a sweat. The city would be $100 a head for what we did, at least. And yet you're eating for, $30. It's pretty crazy.
So Christian, you don't like to go to Dick's Last Resort when you're on vacation?
Go like to what?
There's a place called Dick's Last Resort, and I see them in like places like Myrtle Beach or like Atlantic City, and it's just like a big tourist restaurant.
Oh, is it? No, it's like Margaritaville.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah. It's amazing what he was able to do.
Oh, I know. I do love Jimmy Buffett.
I can't name one Jimmy Buffett song.
Cheeseburger in Paradise?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Huh. I would think either Cheeseburger in Paradise or the song Margaritaville. You'd at least
Sing it. Sing Cheeseburger in
like-
Paradise.
Oh, he goes. He's got this like twangy thing. He's like Cheeseburger in Paradise, Paradise.
Where did you hear this music? Has it ever been on the radio?
It was, yeah, it's on the radio. It's like summer jams, but my family was really into Buffett. So like growing up, when we go to Ocean City, Maryland, we would listen to Jimmy Buffett the whole week.
That's so
did you ever
funny.
go to a show?
I've never been there. My siblings go, and I see pictures, and it's not for me. Certainly not.
What do you
for
call
me.
them? Parrot heads?
Parrot heads, yep.
I went to a couple. I had dated a girl in college for a while whose family was like, I guess they were parrot heads. And we went to a couple shows, and oh man, I mean it's a party. Like I don't like the music that much. I guess the show is probably like any other kind of, I don't know, like a country show or something. Like it's just a drinking fest.
Yeah, it's an
I think
excuse to
it's
get
kind of
drunk
fun.
in a parking lot.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
I don't even
exactly.
need an excuse to get drunk in a parking lot.
Yeah, that's just a Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny too. You make content and it becomes, you become like a character, and it's not a lie. It's just, it's your persona online is just somewhat different or whatever than your persona in person because you're talking about specific things. I don't always just talk about watches in real life. You know what I mean? Like that's not So people kind of have a funny thing, and one of the things that we do that is different in real life than the show is I record like at least 2 episodes at a time. I'll never record one episode, just kind of like on the fly, right? We always do at least two. And we usually do them around 6 o'clock, and I'm usually having a drink, right? Because it's just, it's 6 o'clock on a Thursday, and I'm gonna record a couple episodes, so I'm gonna have some fun. And so people think, because everything they've ever seen of me is drinking, they're like, oh my God, like how much do you drink? And I'm like, well, no more than you, I don't think. You just, like I've just created this kind of misleading, I've gotten emails from like concerned fans. You're like, hey, like, you have to stop drinking. I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like those 3 videos were all the same day. They were within the same hour. Like just because you saw them over the course of 3 weeks, does not mean that I was drinking from then to then.
So you have that. I never really put that together in the videos, but you also have the drinks in the videos, but then you do a whole series dedicated to alcohol and liquor run with your dad.
Yeah,
so
that's probably why I guess I caused the whole problem. But the liquor run thing is probably kind of funny how it all started. I really just wanted to be in a video with my dad. I don't know, like that was really it was not like this super smart like decision. It was just like, oh, this is cool, this is just fun. And then at the time, the company was really small too. I was like, oh, what could really happen? You know what I mean? Like, what's the worst that this, so what? This series isn't successful. We move on, right? And we just keep doing them. And then a couple of episodes in, I realized that from a retail point of view, it was like a kind of like a brilliant idea because the fans got a real insight into kind of my family and the character, like the actual kind of like people behind the company. So it ended up really working out, to our advantage. And then Liquor Run has become really like probably one of the most liked TNH, video series.
What I think has been interesting too, the past few videos I've watched where you're putting up now like your personal Instagram and then Anna's personal Instagram versus promoting the TNH
it's
one,
the TNH the TNH Instagram is like so successful on its own. Like we get stupid engagement. I don't even know why, because I look at accounts that are just as good or accounts that are better or marginally worse, and they don't get this level of engagement. And I genuinely think that we've become kind of bad on Instagram. Like I've neglected it a little bit, so I don't know why, but the Instagram is an animal in and of itself.
I do think the best TNH experience though is following both TNH and your personal account because you get to see like the daytime stuff, and then when you go out at night,
that's the best.
The bar.
I have a really weird social life, and everyone loves making fun of me. I like making fun of me. Do you guys go out a lot? You guys like going out drinking and stuff, like to bars?
I used to, but not too much anymore. Dude, my night out is like one night a week. I'll go out with Becca and we'll like split a dessert and I'll get like 2 drinks.
Right. That's adorable though. That's all kinds of shit.
She doesn't party too much, and I've probably partied enough for one lifetime. So
for the both of you.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
I never really had any interest in it. Like even in college, when people were going out, I was like, I'd rather stay in and play video games with people. I didn't want to be alone. But like now, my wife, we got married before she was 21, and then she was basically pregnant for 2 years. And so now that we have 2, they're up and running. She's been going out to like indulge in the stuff that she missed, and she asked me to come out a lot. I'm like, I'll just stay home and watch kids. That's fine. You can go out. And so even if I like could. I'd much prefer to stay in and be productive in a lot of ways, like catch up on work stuff and
Agreed.
And get ahead.
It's hard to go out and have fun if you don't feel like you're ahead. I just don't do it. Last night I went out around, I don't know, like 8 o'clock or 7:30, and I was ahead when I left. But then this morning when I woke up, I was behind, and I was like, shit, like I shouldn't have went out, but it is what it is. But I don't really like going out to bars.
I mean, it's one of the curses of being an entrepreneur is like there's there's literally always something else to do. You're always going to bed with something on the to-do list, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's no such thing as, oh, that's it. I did it. It's done.
Right, exactly.
It's
But
my
I do
list.
I do like having a drink at night. Like if I'm grilling, I'll have a beer. Or, if I'm working late, I'll have a glass of bourbon or something. So
Yeah.
but yeah, for me, especially getting a little older. Like I mean, not old, but I'm 33. But I find that like a hangover is a real thing now. Like it used to be like,
Oh
yeah,
my
I'm tired or
God.
whatever. But now it's like, dude, I'm like if I go out with like my younger brothers and they're feeding me shots and stuff, I'm wrecked for a day.
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah.
I have that same problem. Like if I have a drink at night, even if I have it at like 6 or 7 o'clock,
One
my whole
drink?
next day I'm at like 80%. Depending on
can't
what it is.
with
If it's like a
gasoline
beer,
or-
that doesn't matter. But if I have like,
What's wrong
Jet
with you?
fuel.
Yeah.
I like operate on jet fuel. I'm like a
So
performance machine, and you put diesel in there,
That's
and it's
so
like,
funny.
what the hell?
I get a good feeling if I'm gonna be bad the next day, like I'm gonna feel sick the next day or hungover, I can kind of like I really can tell at night, even if it's just by a drink, by one extra drink, and I have this ritual where I drink obviously I drink a ton of water, take ibuprofen, and eat a lot of turkey, and I'm yeah, turkey. It's like the most, kind of, right mild down the road, like right down the middle kind of, food. And I'm fine the next day. So as long as I remember the night before, I'm pretty good.
So the Zeron hangover
It's
cure is turkey and lots of water. I do the water thing, but
How about the
the
ibuprofen? You
turkey's
try
a
that?
new one for. No, usually I don't take
Okay.
any medicine or pills.
Yeah.
I try not
I like
to.
Oh man, I used to. I'm with you, John. Like I don't take a whole lot of medicine unless I really need it. But I'm a convert to ibuprofen. I mean, I just speaking of aging, like the aches and pains, dude. Like I have like a heavy bench day, and like dude, my shoulders are just killing me. And, like
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I love
good.
those
It really is good, man.
Oh, it's so good. It's like a cure-all. It's funny because
Yeah.
my wife's sister and both her parents are doctors, and whenever I call them with sign like, hey, I think I broke my toe or whatever. They're like, Gatorade and Motrin. Like that's all. Like Gatorade and Motrin, and then like
funny.
ice. No matter what's wrong with you.
Yeah. It's like my mom. It's like, remember My Big Fat Greek Wedding, like with the Windex?
Right.
I don't know if you guys saw that movie, but
Yeah, it was a while ago.
That's one of the movies that for some reason, I watched so many times when I was younger because I had
That was
it
a good
on
movie.
VHS. Oh, I know. So, Christian, it's been like a year since you were on. What are some of the changes you've gone through since last summer? as you've been
really,
going teenage?
trying to implement, more efficient systems and everything. I mean, we have a lot of inefficiencies in the company. Every company does, but we're very aware of them and looking to fix them, right? Like, it takes a long time to ship, and really it shouldn't. It takes several hours a week to ship things. I mean, emails are overwhelming. I have some help with my emails, but I could really use a lot more help. But it's just a matter of finding efficiencies where we can find them. Working with a different shipping company. Avoiding USPS at all costs. Things like that. That have improved in the system kind of world. But more importantly, on social media, we've done real well. I mean, our YouTube still isn't, all that big of a YouTube, but we hit our goal of, no, we didn't hit our goal yet. We said in January we would hit 50,000 this year, and I think we're at like 46. So we should definitely pick up the extra 4 before the end of the year. At least I would imagine. But we had some success on YouTube this week because of this. We released the Seiko, rants, and they were successful. But I have a hard time with YouTube. I mean, you guys get a lot of success, on the medium, more than I do, I think.
It's hard to focus on more than one platform. I mean, I think the good thing is there's a lot of synergy between YouTube and Instagram, and that the same people are on both of those kind of visual platforms versus like reading a blog or something.
Right.
But yeah, it's really tough. I mean, I'm probably a little bit inverted compared to you, where I put a lot of energy into YouTube and not enough energy into Instagram.
Right.
Which is why my Instagram is kind of, in proportion pretty small compared to YouTube and the website. But
yeah, what do you have, like 150,000 subs now almost?
Yeah, I'm getting close to 150, and I'm at like 14 on Instagram.
Right. It's a huge number though. 150. I mean, to me it is.
Yeah, it's been growing nicely. It is funny though that like, and I know you guys see this, but like the views don't really line up with the subs that much. You know, like, I mean, everybody
Yeah.
looks at subs, like how big is your channel, but it's really all about the views.
Right.
Especially if you're trying to monetize. And my views are all over the place, you know, compared to my subs.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of funny. You know, we'll hit a dud. You know, we'll just upload a video that just sometimes just duds out. It's amazing. But other times, you know, like this week, I think we did for us, it's 20, I don't know, 50,000 views this week, 50 whatever, which is a good goal for us because again, you know, you get that on a video, you know, but yeah, that's kind of our, you know, goal. If we can do that, we're pretty happy.
Yeah.
Well, in that time, you've definitely become one of the larger like watch-specific channels in the space. I mean, there's quite a few out there, but you seem to be on the bigger side in that group.
It's cool because we started off like, you know, with for the first year, I think we ended our first year with like 1,100 subs, or you know what I mean, like, so it's kind of cool. And then, you know, you see people that explode real quick, and then I'm like, shit, you know, you figured it out, you know, it's but good for them, you know.
Yeah, the other day I decided to like clear out some of my old kind of, you know, watches that I don't really wear anymore, and I put an Instagram story up and sold like 10 watches like within 6 hours, I would say. And I was thinking, man, that's what a crazy powerful platform to sell stuff, you know. So do you get a lot of customers coming directly from Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram and YouTube. Yeah, the whole business is basically predicated upon, you know, Instagram and YouTube. That's although we're, you know, on the better half of the social end, on the social end, the YouTube end, on the retail end, we've had a lot of success, you know, a lot more than our competitors because we care so much about, you know, our communication and our narrative and engaging people and you know, just putting out free content. Whereas our competitors, who all I think are older than us, or you know, in time they've been in existence, you know, they don't do that at all. They just couldn't care less about, you know, creating content, creating community. So it's kind of a perfect storm. You know, we're doing the right thing and they're doing the wrong thing. It creates, you know, quite a bit of, you know, a gap.
Yeah, a lot of the other channels, watch channels, they're either just content channels. They don't sell watches, or the ones that do sell kind of have very, very dry videos. Like here's this watch, here are the specs. You know, you can go buy it here.
Yeah, and then those channels, you know, and ultimately don't get the backlash that we do. You know, like we were saying before, it's amazing. You know, particularly on YouTube, which is kind of a medium that almost lends itself to a lot of, you know, negative comment, negative kind of vibe. It's amazing the stuff that, you know, the stuff that you read. You know, the people's reactions to the, you know, innocuous, harmless things you say sometimes. You know.
Oh, it's amazing. And I don't know. I still haven't figured out why people are so fired up on watches. Like even compared to other parts of fashion, it's crazy how passionate people get to use a kind word about watches.
You look in the comment section of like a car video and it's like, oh, that's cool. Or, no, I don't really like it. You know, the other car is better. You know, in watches, it gets like incredibly passionate and angry. You know, it's crazy.
Oh yeah. So it's actually fun. I did an everyday carry video the other day that did pretty well for my channel, and I showed the Datejust that you sold me, and then I had my car keys, which I drive an old beat up Honda. You know, I drive a beater, and I had multiple comments like, "Oh, this doesn't make any sense. Like this guy wears a Rolex and like driving a Honda. Like what's going on?" I had people making fun of me. I was like, "Dude,
so weird.
Because
like, why are you so
watches.
angry?"
It's like why does being into watches mean you have to be into cars?
Right.
You know?
I prioritize this thing. Like, is that wrong? Am I, you know, like I made a priority, right? I mean,
it's so
weird.
So,
you know, people, that's the, yeah. But then again, you say you're grateful for it because the fact that people do care about your channel one way or the other, you know, is the reason why you're able to do it, you know, for a living, which is a silver lining that I can see right now. But when then I get a comment, then I'm like, fuck this, I hate, fuck, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's very easy to forget the sage advice that I give right now, you know.
Right.
You know what was weird is last night was the first time in my like watch journey where I saw a guy who was working the bar at a sushi restaurant, and he had a fake Rolex on, and I could tell that it was fake from like across the bar. And I said something to the guy next to me because we were talking about watches, and then I told him about T&H, and he was shopping on your site. I tweeted
That's
at
so
you
funny.
last night about that.
Well, it's funny.
But But before that, I wouldn't have cared at all about his watch. But now I'm kind of like, why
Yeah.
is he wearing a fake one? Like, just get an
And dude,
get an
that's a hard
Orient Bambino,
conversation.
dude.
That's something. I mean, if you guys don't want controversy, never talk about fake watches on YouTube, man. There is a community of fake watch lovers like I've never even seen. Like it's incredible in numbers they come out in and what they'll do. I mean, I did a video about fake watches and why I don't like them or whatever, and it just got, I think, like 2,000 downvotes or something. Like, it was just incredible how much people hated me for it. Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
It's, oh, you're a snob. I'm not a snob by any means. Wear a really cool Timex Weekender. That's the watch that I recommended my friend buy. But don't wear a fake Rolex. Just don't. There's no reason for it. It's a phony baloney move.
It's
I was with a group of guys, and he noticed that I had my Omega on, and he goes, "Oh, I just ordered an Omega online the other day," and I was like, "Oh, cool. What'd you get?" He goes, "Well, it's like a fake. It's like a really good fake, though. It was like
Weird.
$200." And I was like,
cool.
Oh. I didn't.
Wait, and
wanna-
then why
I-
are you
I didn't
telling
know
me?
how to
Isn't the whole
delicately
point of
go
wearing
there,
a fake
so-
watch to kind of deceive? Like, why are you admitting that you bought a fake watch if you buy a fake watch? Isn't the whole point that people don't know?
I don't know.
Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I
guess.
just don't get it.
It's really weird. That is a really weird thing to do. I'll never understand it. It'd be like taking the Toyota logo off your car and putting a BMW logo over it. It's like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't make any. It doesn't turn it into a BMW.
Yeah. And do you like for instance, and there's no right or wrong answer, right? But like, let's say you're gonna do business with someone, right? And then you see they're wearing a fake, Rolex. Does that turn you off a little bit? Did you consider that?
I might try and forget about it because I think it would tarnish. I'd
Like,
be
what aren't I
"What?"
seeing about you?
It'd be
Like,
like,
there's got to
yeah.
be something about you that I'm not seeing. If you're wearing this fake watch, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be curious if it was like a misinformed thing or if it was like actual deception. If you were like, "Hey, cool watch," and he said, "Oh yeah, it's a Rolex," or if you said, "Oh yeah, I want the
Right.
Rolex, but I couldn't afford it." I
Yeah,
think
that
I'd
I could.
try to go a level
I could
deeper.
get beyond that. I disagree with the guy, but that doesn't bother me. But there's a guy locally. He's like this big, like ostentatious, obnoxious guy, and he wears a fake Yachtmaster too. And I won't call him out on it or whatever. I'm not that guy. But he's talked about how much money he spent on his wife's engagement ring and how much money his watch costs, how much money his car is. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, I know your Cadillac is real. Like, I know that's a real Escalade because they don't make fake Escalades, right? But I know that when you look people in the eye and told them that you spend 14 grand on that watch, I know you're lying or you were robbed. Okay. But I think you're lying.
Man, I hope he's lying, because that'd be sad if someone
No,
thought they were
he's
buying a real
definitely
one.
lying. He's definitely lying.
Yeah.
How do you know that his Cadillac isn't just a
Yeah.
Suburban and they put a new body on top?
They never really
You'll
know,
never
yeah.
know.
Oh my God. It's funny.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I don't know how to get us out of this hole.
I was gonna say, I don't really get the even like the homage watches. I don't know. It's just something. It's the same thing. It's like, just get. I mean, I could see a watch having like a nod to something else, but being like an homage, just to me, it's kind of the same as being a fake almost. It's like, well, I couldn't get the thing I actually wanted, so I got this instead.
Right. There's one really cool homage watch. It's also really controversial in the watch world. It's called the Gevril Tribeca. It's a the Rolex Paul Newman Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I just got a text message. The Rolex Paul Newman Daytona is a super, famous and super collectible watch now. They're worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to start, and they'll go into the millions, right? But in the 90s, there was a company called Gevril that manufactured, I think maybe 1,500 examples of a total ripoff, right? Like, and it's a really well-made watch. They really put the time and money into producing this watch, right? And what's really cool is they did that before the Paul Newman took off in value, right? Before the Paul Newman became a real legend. So in a lot of ways, it's like, yes, it is a ripoff of $1 million watch, but it wasn't when it was manufactured, and they made it so good, and they're limited edition. Like, I speak really fondly about them. I'm a big fan of that watch. But as a whole, homage watches are my thing. But that's an exception for me.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that the one that you had on Instagram that was you called it the null
The
Pullman?
yeah, the null Pullman. Yeah.
That's how I always remember
It's
that
the null
watch now.
Pullman.
It's the null Pullman.
This is the Rolex's null Pullman.
That's
really
funny. So what's next for Theo and Harris? I mean, you mentioned maybe hiring another team member, to office manager, and do fulfillment and stuff like that. Would that be the next kind of big step?
Yeah, I mean, putting the retail business on, kind of an autopilot would be a next step, so we could really focus on and expand into, advertising. We generate no ad revenue at all. I don't even know how to do it, so that's going to be, the next step for the company. Luckily, the retail business is great, so, it's not a matter of necessity, but I think it's the natural evolution of the company. And if we don't do it, it's just lazy. You know what I mean? Like if you don't do it, it's lazy. It's not because you can't do it. It's not because you're too dumb. It's just because you didn't go do it. And I don't like that feeling. So that's probably what we'll venture out into.
So you talked about UPS earlier. Have you looked in? I mean, I hear the ads for like Stamps.com or Pitney Bowes all the time. Have you looked into some of the shipping services like that?
Dude, I cannot figure Stamps.com out. I have signed up for Stamps.com at least twice. I've ordered scales from them. I've never received any of these things. Is it a pyramid scheme? I don't get what Stamps.com is, man. Like I've used promo codes. Like I've gone through the entire process and I can't figure it out. I obviously haven't tried that hard or that long, but I have I have my Amex bill on my desk over there, and I left it out because I have $35 in Stamps.com charges that I never got anything for, so I have to call it back.
The other one I hear now is Pitney Bowes is heavily advertising, which is like a similar thing where they'll send you the free scale and then you sign up for the subscription or whatever.
Right.
But I get a lot of Stamps.com stuff when I buy stuff on eBay. A lot of it comes through like Stamps.com that way. So it's
I'm sure it's
for somebody.
I've just had a hard someone out there, at least one guy on eBay, is working. I love eBay, dude.
Oh, I know. You don't do anything on eBay, do you?
No, I don't buy watches on eBay really, and I don't sell watches on eBay. But like, I just buy like cool shit, Like I just got
like pimp shoes.
Yeah, like pimp shoes. Right, I bought my pimp shoes on eBay. I bought an overcoat last week on eBay, a really nice double-breasted like herringbone overcoat. And I bought a nail clipper that it's kind of funny. This is kind of a weird thing. It's a vintage Mercedes Bakelite nail clipper, and it was just super cool. Like it was just a really cool thing to have. Not that I'll ever really use it or whatever, but it's on eBay. It's an impulse buy. I was like, I'll never see this again, so I bought it.
I use it to fill out. I have up until about a week ago, I had every James Bond video game. So like from the Nintendo 64 and even
fucking love James Bond video games.
Oh, don't even get me started there. But I was missing like 4 games, and so for the past like few weeks, I've been like hunting them down. And then I bought like a Game Boy Advance SP so I could play the Game Boy versions because I'm gonna be on a podcast and I'm gonna give a complete oral history of the video games. And so that's been my latest thing on eBay. Is I've got a bunch of packages coming in with old video games.
Yeah, I had What was the game called? It was James Bond. It was for the GameCube. I'm sure that you could help me think of what it is. Was it
Nightfire?
Was it Nightfire?
That is
Nightfire.
The second best James Bond game they ever made.
That was a great game.
Absolutely.
What's
I
number one?
PS2
GoldenEye?
version.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, number 1 easily GoldenEye. Number
Okay.
2,
GoldenEye.
Nightfire is like second by a mile. Like the rest of them are all super mediocre and like they were okay made, but Nightfire had like a perfect engine. They had the characters, they had incredible maps, they had excellent multiplayer. Like Nightfire was so good, and they've never really hit that again in the series. In my opinion.
That was the James Bond game, man. If I look around for it, I bet I still have it somewhere.
Oh yeah, that was one you couldn't play online though. That's like
it was all GameCube, man.
You had the 4 screens. You play against 4 people. That was the best.
Your friends would come over and just like just play Nightfire. It was like the coolest thing. And like you got the golden gun. That was like the biggest. Like that was the coolest thing ever if you got the golden gun.
Oh yeah,
that was great.
Did you guys ever read the book Ready Player One?
No, what's that?
I didn't, but I saw the movie.
Okay, I haven't seen the movie yet. I was afraid it would ruin my because I love the book so much, and I was afraid it would like ruin it. But was the movie good?
Yeah, that's a super nerdy book. I'm surprised you're. I guess You're kind of a closet nerd.
What is it about?
Yeah, it's about it's like the not too distant future. I think it's like 2050 something, and it's kind of like the internet is basically this virtual reality place now called the Oasis. So it's basically the internet has become 100% virtual reality. That's how you access it, and it's just about this whole adventure kind of treasure hunt thing. It's very like sci-fi. I'd say if you like Ender's Game or anything like that, you probably like this book. But yeah, it just made me think. It's very like 80s. Like if you grew up anytime like the 80s or 90s, like this book just is like filled with like really rich like detail and like throwbacks to that era. And so it's been making me. So I read the book, and then they came out with the audiobook, which is the voiceover is Will Wheaton. You know, who's
Oh yeah.
like Stand By Me, Star Trek, all that. He does an awesome job. So I'm listening to the audiobook now. I'm like, man, I shouldn't have sold my Nintendo. You know, like, it's making me all nostalgic for this stuff.
Yeah, I love N64.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I definitely had like just regular NES back in the day, and then played like Zelda on 64 and.
Yeah, I used to play all like the Mario games. Like, oh, dude, those are the best. Like Mario Smash Brothers Melee.
Oh yeah.
That was GameCube. I'm sorry, that was GameCube.
You know, I never had a GameCube. I kind of skipped. Well, I went to PlayStation, which was like, I'd say my all-time favorite console, and then got a Xbox 360 for a while, and then I kind of stopped after that.
Yeah, I never got into Xbox. I never got into reading either. Now that we're on that topic, all the smart kids read. I've only ever really read one. I think I've only ever read like 3 books. And that's it. And I've reread them too. I like them, but that's really it.
Do you do audiobooks instead?
No, I don't know. No, not at all. I barely watch YouTube videos.
Or podcasts?
No, nothing.
So you don't even know like Stamps.com or Squarespace because you don't hear them on every episode?
No, I see them on YouTube sometimes. Stamps.com. That's really it though.
They're very, very prevalent in podcasting.
I just don't even watch like a lot of YouTube videos. I really don't. I watch YouTube videos more for work, like to learn than I do for enjoyment. Like I just watch The Office for enjoyment. Like that's it. That's it. I'm one of those people.
What do you do for your downtime if you have any?
I like to hang out and have a couple drinks with family or friends, stuff like that. But if I'm in if it's me time, like if it's just like alone time, definitely just throw on a movie or something like that. I really, really like movies. So that's it. I mean, I'm definitely not going to read. That's for sure.
Nice.
We could wrap up with our rapid fire questions. And I just remembered we have every guest we've been asking rapid fire questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
And it's like one word off the top of your head type of things. All right. Oxfords or brogues?
Oxfords. Because you made me think of the shirt, not the shoes.
Okay. The morning shower or evening shower?
Evening.
Evening. Your favorite Bond actor?
Sean Connery.
Cardio or lifting?
Neither.
I thought that would come. The last book you did read?
The Short and Happy Life of Francis Mackenber.
Oh, chinos, jeans, or trousers?
Jeans. No, trousers.
Okay, loafers or sneakers?
Loafers.
And then if you're getting in the shower and you got a big day, you need to get pumped up. What song are you playing?
For Once in My Life, Stevie Wonder.
Wow.
No, Once in My Life. What is it? Right? For once in my life. What's the song? For once in my life, I won't let sorrow hurt.